Hey y'all, I'm Heather and welcome to my channel, The Debt Free Quilter. Today we're working on another block in our Gnome-ster moon quilt, and that is called the Friendship Star. So we'll be using some rectangles, some squares, and some more tiny squares. As usual, the littlest one turns out super cute. So we're gonna make the medium size today. And as always, we'll get to the time lapse in a later video. So to begin, we need squares, we need rectangles, and we need more squares. Now, the block that we're going to create today is called a square in a square block. So that means we're going to take these squares and put more squares in the corners, and then we're going to chop off the parts that we don't need. So let me show you how we're going to achieve this. Okay, we have our marking pen. I'm using my friction pen as per usual. Now I have 4 of these, and I'm just going to take my ruler, line it up just off the point, and mark a line down the center. I promise. There we go. Then what we're going to do is sew on the line, or just a hair to the right of the line, or to the outside. Here, let me demonstrate a little bit before we move on. What I'll do next is line this square up in this corner, and then this is the outside. I want to sew maybe 1 or 2 threads to the outside of this line that I have drawn. That way this will fold over to look like that. And I'm going to do that with these squares for 4 of my big squares, and then one of my bigger squares will have 4 background squares on it. So for right now we're going to continue marking. I'm going to put you in time lapse for this, because y'all have better things to do than sit around and watch me mark squares. Okay, we've got all our lines drawn. Now we're going to go over and sew some. Alright, what I'm going to start with are these. I'm going to line them up in this corner, and I'm going to sew either on this line or just a hair to the right of this line to the outside. And I'm going to do that for 4 of these. Alright, last one. This one will get 4 of the same background blocks on each corner. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do to save time is grab all the rest of my background squares flip my whole pile over and do the opposite corner. And I'm going to do it the same way that I did the previous corner. Alright, now we have 2 of the 4 flip corners done, so we're going to treat this now like we would any other flip corner. We're going to go over to the mat, we're going to check and make sure that these cover properly. We're going to trim them down, then we're going to go press before we come back and do the other 2 sides. So let's go trim these. Okay, so the first thing that I do is I flip it over. Yeah, this one's just maybe a hair shy, but it's okay. I'm not overly worried about it. And I line up my 1/4 inch line and I cut this off. It's too small to do anything with, so I just toss it in my little bucket over here. Now we check the other side. That's good. And we trim it off. And we set it aside. And we continue until we're done. Alright, so we have half of our square and a square block done. Now we have to add these once again to the other corners, like so. So y'all have seen me add 2 sides. We're going to add the other 2 now. And I will speed this process up. I'll fast forward so that we get through the sewing, the checking, the trimming, and the pressing before we move on to our next step. So here we go. Okay, so all our square and a square blocks are finished. Next, we are going to make our 2 patches by combining these 2 sets of rectangles. So let's do it. Okay, I'm going to run over and press these real quick, and then we'll come back and lay out our block. Alright, so now we have all of our units completed. Let's see how this is going to play out, shall we? Okay, now here's what our block is going to look like. We're going to sew our rows together, I'm going to pull out my pressing stick to save a little time. And here in a few minutes this will be done. Let's go see how we did. Okay, so there we have it. Our friendship star block. Is it perfect? No. Does it look a little cockeyed? Maybe. I'm not too worried about it. And yes, I lost some points. No, I'm not worried about that either. Nothing is perfect. Perfection is an illusion. Not even anything in nature is perfect. So am I expecting my blocks to be perfect? No. And I'm okay with that. So, today we have learned how to make a square in a square block. And we've learned how to put 5 of them together into a friendship star. And I still say this is so stinking cute. Okay. The time-lapse video will be coming. Still have to film it. But all in all, a fairly simple block to make. Doesn't take a lot of finagling. And it turns out pretty cute in just about any colorway you can think of. So, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Have a great week. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye!